God of War, a staple of quality in gaming. Everyone knows this mad bald dude and his uncanny acts. We've been seeing his story unfold for such a long time now that it almost feels like he is real. I really hope he isn't. But why is that? Well, the answer is quite simple. It's because the games are absolutely incredible, with an amazing story, great gameplay, and outstandingly good bosses. Yes bro, the Soul series isn't the only one. So in today's video, I'll be ranking every boss from God of War in a tier list, going from the what the fuck, this is fucking epic S tier to the depths of hell where Hades and his minions reside, also known as F tier. So yeah man, leave a like, subscribe since you're down there, and let's go. By the way, if my voice is a little bit on the nosy side, it's because I got a beating in boxing yesterday, so yeah, my nose is fucked up. And let's start with the first game, with Hydra, the small one. It is very simple and just an appetizer, to be honest. I like it because of sentimental and nostalgic value, but I have to admit that the next one, like his dad/mom, is the star of the show, so it gets the B tier, and let's get into the Hydra, the big one. This fucking boss is a marker, like a point in time. When I firstly played God of War, my dick almost fell off. Being in the middle of a storm and getting jumped by a big-ass serpent wasn't enough apparently. No. Santa Monica Studios had to put their feet in the ground and shout, yo, this new series of games is gonna be lit! And they threw you this fucking monstrosity with these two little buddies and just said, yo, you have to fight them while the world is at war. I really like the fight, and even though it's really simple, there's really not anything special mechanically wise, I have to admit that this is an incredible fight. Everyone knows this guy. Like, if you play God of War, you know that the first boss is this giant ass Hydra and you kill her by fucking up her eye. Honestly, it's an S tier. Is it an S tier? Probably not, but just the epicness of the whole thing carries the fight along. S tier. Next up, Cerberus. And honestly, I don't really consider this a boss. The internet considers it, I don't really. So I'm so I will rank all of them like this. C tier from Cerberus. Let's go to the next one, which is the Medusa. And again, is it a boss? I don't know, but the fact is that I don't consider it a boss, the internet considers it a boss, and in this case it's even more annoying than the Cerberus, so it goes into the D tier. Now, Desert Sirens. And again, is this a boss? Well, in this case I think it is. It is more like a gimmick, and I mean, the folding screen monkeys are also considered a boss, so why wouldn't this be a boss? Talking about the quality overall, I don't really like it. I am sorry. Every time I played God of War 1, I always got lost for like 30 full minutes in this desert. They are annoying, the vibe is there, and I really like the ambience of the whole thing, but it is kinda shit, and the annoyingness is really annoying. So, D tier. Okay, now, the hardest boss of the game.
What do you mean there are only two bosses left and Pandora Gradient can be that hard?
Escaping fucking hell. Yes, you remember it. If you played this game, you remember it too. These fucking pillars with rotating blades are more of a boss than Medusa, because I am sure that they took me years of life. Imagine trying to be fucking precise with a PlayStation 2 controller. Yeah, no one deserves that. And it's going to the tier. Okay, jokes aside now, a real boss, Pandora's Guardian. And he is in fact quite cool. You slowly chip away his armor, there's tons of movesets that he does, and the design is really fucking badass. Metal fire bull trying to skin you alive? Yo, that is my shit. Also, the way you kill him is just like always, like you see on all of the franchise, very interesting, and you impale him with something. I don't know, Kratos really likes to fuck people with sticks. But he is simple, very simple. It doesn't mean that he is bad, but simplicity is really his middle name probably. And because of that, and because I kinda need to space out the bosses, there's tons of them throughout all of the games, so he is going into the B tier. We have to make space for the next one, because the next one is gorgeous. Ares, the God of War. This is the first boss to really step up on quality. He does everything perfectly. He looks like a weird scorpion, which I already like. He switches up the entire game dynamics, like the entire gameplay of the game. Now, instead of just spamming square, no, you have to attack him carefully, and when you attack him, like, This part of the health goes down and yours go up, and if he attacks you, your health will go down and his health will go up. It's just a really freaking nice addition, and it completely switches up the gameplay. And also, this fight has tons of special moments, really hard moments, has a lot of emotional weight, like you can cry during this fight. I didn't because I'm a soulless pig, but you can. They really did their best here, and it's undoubtedly one of the best fights in the entire series. So, S tier to Ares. And talking about the entire series, let's get into the next game, God of War 2. Without a doubt, a big step up on quality on the previous game. But I have to admit something, this is the game that I played the least, and it's my least favorite in the entire series. However, a man has to tell the truth when truth is due. This is an incredible game with incredible bosses. It is better than the first game, and it starts phenomenally well with the crazy ass, big ass fight. This dude, this Jack Colossus of Rhodes, I don't know, the big metal. It is just incredible. Again, world at war on the background. He's big as shit, as I said. And the complexity of the fight also got turned up a notch. Now you have to swing here, swing there, be aware on your surroundings, do not get damaged by the electrocuting shit, and you kill him from the inside, like the cancer that you are. It really is like a perfect start to the game. I'm being serious when I say that this shit bangs. So it goes into the S tier, joining our three little fellas over here. 2 games, 3 S tiers, let's fucking go. And this is basically a sneak peek into what Santa Monica Studios had prepared for us in a later entry. So there's nothing really to say about him. He is annoying, but I guess I consider him a boss. I guess he's cool. He's made of ice. He makes this to you, so why the fuck not? It goes into the C tier. Cool guy. Dark Griffin and Dark Rider. The boss is shit, yeah, that's right. But it is like in the middle of the air, so it is very aesthetically pleasing. For that, it goes into the C tier, and really, I'm being quite generous here, just because it's cool to look at. Theseus. Bro, this is the boss fight, okay? I consider this a boss fight. But, like, you don't even have to try that hard to promote him into a normal enemy. If you clone him throughout the game, I would completely accept that he was a normal enemy, because the fight doesn't really appeal to me. It is on a fairly annoying area. I didn't like the area, yet, apologies. He spawns normal enemies mid-fight, which for the most part I don't really like, and it just seems like a normal, regular guy. You'd encounter him in like a convenience store or something. Of course he had this big sword, but it doesn't matter, so but yeah, it's a C tier. It's a C tier because I'm basically a little bitch. But why am I a little bitch? Well, because I would easily be his little bitch. Okay, enough. That's enough! Too much. Okay, on all seriousness, let's start. You start the fight by grabbing into his Harry-O and spanking that shit, which would already be enough for me, but then he proceeds to give you an amazing fight with tons and tons of magic. He gets big as shit, senpai! And he gives you a cool ass weapon when you defeat him, and you know that I really like when a boss gives you weapons, because I like to be rewarded, because I'm addicted to dopamine. Hell yeah, he goes into the B tier. Haha, Euralia. Just another Medusa, but this one is fat, and I am fat phobic. Just kidding. I guess she's a little bit more complex, and she's better at some degree. She goes into the pillars and she shows off her huge tits. I guess that you could consider her a better boss, so it goes into the C tier. She's better than the other Medusas, come on. Next up is one of mine. I really love this guy. Don't get fooled by his weird hairstyle. This Justin Bieber looking ass will destroy you and will put you in ecstasy because the fight is amazing. Perseus. Actually, I think that he would very easily slide into a Souls game because of his overall quality. He has just the right amount of epicness, he's not too over the top. He's basically a normal guy that becomes invisible. Yep, he becomes invisible, and he uses that gimmick very, very well. He's annoying on the right terms. Not too annoying, but still annoying. Yo man, it's overall an amazing fight, and it deserves the A tier. And now the last, Spartan. I don't even know if this is a boss, but he switches up the art of the whole thing, and it's on 2D, come on. It's very interesting. And it goes into the B tier. And right after him, the Kraken. The hentai boy. Look, I find that this fight is very pleasing to the eye. He's badass as fuck, and you feel like a badass during the fight. However, they could have done so much more. You are fighting fucking Kraken, and even though that it is cool the way that you annihilate him, I was expecting this guy version 2.0, but no, I got a fairly easy fight with no challenges whatsoever. However, again, pleasing to the eye, it's a guy with tentacles, I fuck him up badly, it goes into the B tier, just like the last Spartan. Now look, for the sake of simplicity, I am gonna rank every Sister of Faith in the same rank. If it was just this fat bitch, she would probably go into the B tier. Her huge tits doesn't help her, and she has a lot of tits. But the real cool sisters are the other two. The other two are the star of the show. And mainly, in my opinion, because of the lore. Like, you are trying to save yourself in the present by going into the past, not letting her destroy the sword that you used to defeat Ares. Like, if the sword was destroyed, you would die to Ares, therefore you would die on the present days. I really find those little details and those time loops very, very interesting and fun. Also, of course, the fight is fairly cool. There's the parries, you have to swing here, swing there, and it's pretty fucking enjoyable. And she goes into the A tier, not an S tier. I know. Actually, the last boss also doesn't get the S tier, unfortunately. Zeus. For a last boss, I was expecting much more. I am not gonna lie. And don't get me wrong, this is basically toe-to-toe with the Sisters of Faith. The first time you encounter him is already a pretty memorable one. Not comparable to the second time you face him on a later entry, but it's already pretty decent. He gets big as fuck, he throws you thunders because he's the thunder god, whatever. It's okay, it's alright. I don't have a lot to say, honestly. It is cool, I guess. It's an A tier. Come on, eh? This is it. This is the peak. We have reached the game that has the best overall quality of bosses in the entire series, and if you don't agree, you are wrong. You are actually wrong. It's impossible. There's no game with this much boss quality. Santa Monica took something, I don't know. They lost their minds in this game. They lost their fucking minds. And yo, they started right in God of War 1 style. And what do I mean by that? They started with just an appetizer. Cavalo! Or for you non-Portuguese speakers, the horse. And why is this God of War 1 style? Again, an appetizer. A tiny fraction of what you are about to expect, so it goes into the B tier. Oh boy! This is where Kratos basically starts to annihilate his entire world. It all went down after this guy, just all went to shit. But let's get to why this fight is absolutely amazing. Firstly, just like the other previous games, the world is at war on the background. And in this case, they went nuts. Titans climbing everywhere, the Mount Olympus being fucking raided down by huge specimens of rock and trees and whatever. Enemies everywhere swarming you, the gods fighting the Titans, and then the fight starts. And you fight Poseidon, you fight fucking Poseidon on the body of a Titan, of Gaia, while you are climbing the Mount Olympus. Try to imagine a more epic... A more epic what? More epic... An epic setting than this. Try to find a more epic setting than this. You can't. And I am challenging you. Give me a more epic setting than this. Setting. Jesus. You can't. You just can't. And to finish it off, the way you kill him. One of the most gruesome ways to finish off a guy. S tier. Next up, my personal favorite fight of the whole game. Hades. He is not as epic as his fellow colleagues, like his fellow gods. He isn't, but for some reason I really stick with him. You know that I like dopamine. Dopamine needs to be around my brain, and this guy just doesn't let me rest. Go here, attack the blob, now attack him, now swing here, now swing there. Now I'm sucking his soul. I'm sucking the soul out of his body, and look, now I have his weapons. And look, I'm now finishing him off. Finishing him off. I'm tired. I just got punched in the face like 12 hours ago. I'm fucked up. I don't know what I'm saying. It goes into the S tier. Big badass, yo, Inferno guy. Helios. Boss? Probably not, but this needs to be mentioned. Tier. Hermes. So, again, this is a gimmick fight. Is it the boss? I guess yes, it's a fucking god, so let's consider it the boss. It's a chase scene. I don't really like it. The way you finish him is just like always, very educational. He still manages to be very annoying, so it goes into the D tier, and I never liked the guy. I'm glad Kratos did this to him. Now another fan favorite, Hercules. And I have to admit, the first time I played this game, I wasn't expecting much from this guy. Like, he isn't even a full-formed god. He is supposed to be the god of war, but he's not. He's a semi-god, semi-man, whatever. And I was completely wrong. This guy reaches the same quality as the other big fights. There's very cool combat mechanics with you throwing him into the spikes. He lifts the fucking ground up, and the way you finish him, Jesus, Kratos. Man, give this guy some hot tea or something. You gotta chill.
Daddy, chill.
And the weapons that you get from him are amazing. My favorites. Hercules goes into the S tier also. This scene. Why is this scene a boss fight? I'm considering it a boss fight, but why? Well, it is said that Aphrodite has a penis and a vagina. So either Kratos is open for experimentation, or he was having the battle of the century. Jesus, tier. Kronos. Here we get into the older brother of the Ice Guy. And again, you don't really do much on this fight. You really don't. You defeat normal enemies and there are some quick time events. But I have to admit that this fight is absolutely amazing. It's not even a fight, but it's absolutely amazing. He's crushing in between his fingertips. Now I'm ripping off his nail, his whole nail, like from here, from the bottom, his whole nail. And the way you finish him is like Shadow of the Colossus style. It's amazing. It's an A tier. Let's fucking go. Afaste seus. Is it a boss? I don't know. Weapon school? Yes. D tier. Scorpius. So, this guy over here. Well, Scorpius. I played God of War 3 like 3 times. And I remember that the last time I played it, I didn't remember that Scorpius existed. And it's for a bad reason, because he's cool. You have to use a specific weapon to make him vulnerable. There's these little guys helping him, and in this case it's okay. I think they add to the fight. The place where you fight him is also very cool. Blocks everywhere. Yo, this is crazy. But if we compare him into the other fights that we had, like Kronos, Hercules, the next one, Zeus, he really falls off behind. And that's probably why I didn't remember him. So it goes into the B tier. He's decent, he's okay. Holy shit, they had to do it. I mean, they had to do it. This was the last boss of the last game of the franchise, basically. And it was the last game of that console. So they had to make this shit as epic and as mind-blowing as possible. And they did it. You don't even know what is happening on this fight. You don't know if you are playing Mortal Kombat, God of War, or a weird mod for Call of Duty. Everything is amazing. You even kill Gaia during the process, fucking up her heart. It's great. And yo, this fight will very much get stuck in my head forever, because the following happened, and I'm not making this up. When you are changing up his face on the end, the prompt to press circle rapidly appears on the down right corner of the screen. And I was smashing that shit like no one has ever seen it. And I didn't stop, I was there, bam, bam, bam. They never tell you to stop, bam, 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 bam. My fingers started to hurt, so I had to call my brother, and we switched up, and he was there, bam, 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 and I rested a bit, and I was like, yo, this shit is taking too long, and we switched it up again, and bam, bam, bam. It was like this for 15 to 20 full minutes until I had enough. I was like, okay, stop, this can't be it, this is a bug, what the fuck, I'm gonna punch through fucking earth. And I noticed that I needed to stop. Yep, sometimes in life, man, you just have to stop. Regardless of that, this guy is amazing. And it's the S tier for you, white bearded man that probably now has no face. And here we are. We arrived at the modern God of War games. And I have to admit that these are the games that I like the most. They decided to go into a more story-driven area and left the epicness, what the fuck is this, to the side, but they are still very much epic, you know? It's still there, turned down a little bit, okay? And they didn't wait in their first big encounter. But firstly, let's talk about the trolls. So the trolls, they are cool. I really like them, to be honest. I like the design, I like the fact that they have a giant pillar. And yes, they maybe were overused a bit too much, mainly on the first game, but I like them. I think they are Gucci. B tier. Okay, bro, it's like I usually think about the Stranger and Baldur as the same person because they are the same person. Not the same fight, but the same person, and I usually group them up. However, for the sake of chronological events, I am gonna talk about the Stranger separately. And what an incredible boss fight. This is how to build tension in a fight. Like, it's masterful at that. You don't even know who this skinny guy is, but his presence alone, chilling. Then, you just get fucking punched in the face, you fly away into the outer space. Like, I bet he felt that. I felt that, and I am sitting on my chair with my mouth wide open. And it starts one of the most cinematic fights ever created by mankind. The dialogues are very interesting. You fuck him up with a tree, you give him a choke. It's great, it's amazing. It's a nasty. Come on. Dark Elf King, the normal enemy on Trembolone. D tier. The big dragon, this guy. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this name. They basically took the more down to earth combat and said, yeah, we are going back in time, and made you fight a huge ass dragon with a tiny axe, which I don't really find that bad. I find it really interesting, and the fight itself, even though simple, you slowly chip away his health because it's a giant dragon. I found it very cool. You throw him these balls to fuck him up, and you attack him with your tiny axe. It is cool, it is cool. I liked it, and I am sure that they did a reference to the first game in this scene. Just look at this scene and I'll look at this scene. Come on, tell me you don't see the similarities. I can't be the only one, come on. This giant dragon goes into the A tier, just because it's not the most complex fight ever, and I was expecting a little bit more, but he's very cool, come on, he's very cool. Magni and Modi, sheesh! I didn't even know who these guys were, and I absolutely loved them. Here, they did what From Software sometimes can't do, a well-done gang fight. One is aggressive, the other is slow, and they kind of switch up the aggressiveness. And then there's this cool fucking scene mid-fight, you don't know where they are coming from, you are protecting their trees, and BAM! On the fucking shield. Great. Then, on the end of the fight, you do what you were not supposed to do. Kill a god. Okay, they are not really full-fledged out gods, but they are important and they shouldn't have died, and you kill them, and now everything is crumbling on you. You are fucked, man. S tier. And before we get into the last final boss, let's talk about the semi type of boss enemy, yeah. Valkyrias. The Valkyrias are indeed pretty good. Mainly Sigrun. That fucking bitch, fucking hard as shit. I suffered to defeat her, and if it was just her, it would be accurate. But the other ones kinda push her down a bit, and I will not rank every single one specifically because firstly, I don't remember every single Valkyria, they are very similar, and secondly, I'm gonna just group them up and put them in the A tier. S tier for the Sigrun, B tier for the others, averaging them up, A tier. Let's go, the Ancients. I like the Ancients, they are cool, they have a cool design. You throw the axe into the middle of the heart or whatever that shit is. It's always very interesting to fight, but they are kinda annoying to fight also, so they go into the C tier. And now the one and only, Michael Bro. For me, the best fight in the entire series. There is no God of War 1, 2, 3, Ragnarok. No bosses from those games can compare to this little buddy right here. Baldur and Freya and this fucking ginormous giant. Absolutely amazing boss. He does everything that you need to get right, to make a boss incredible. The gameplay is amazing, you always have to be switching weapons, so you have to be aware the entire fight. He's hard as fuck, like you can die during this shit. And the epicness of the whole thing, you shoot with your trees, there's the snake, nyom. This fight just checks everything, it's incredible. And story-wise, man, it was very important for the development of Atreus and Kratos and Freya, and well, Baldur, I guess. It's basically a perfect boss in an almost perfect game, in an almost perfect world, and it goes into the perfect tier, which is the S tier. Hehe, let's go. God of War Ragnarok, the last game of the franchise, at least for now. an amazing experience with tons of great stuff, but some bad stuff also. And for me, the biggest disappointment of this game is the bosses. Yep, I said it, but hear me out. This game has some amazing bosses, like serious bangers, but it also has some very big disappointments in the middle. I am very sorry to say that, but it is the truth. When I played that game, you know, I was flabbergasted. I thought that this was the most mind-blowing experience ever, but now that the waters have calmed down a bit and I can see through, I can, yes, very much agree that the bosses are not that special. Like, okay, they are special, but there are some bosses that could be more special and they aren't. But let's start, and with Bjorn. The previous entire game trying to tell Atreus how to be a god with words, like telling him with words how to be a god. And then you notice that probably it would be a lot more efficient if you resorted to the good old beatdowns. Yep, that's basically what you do in this fight. You beat up your son that has transformed himself into a bear. It's a cool fight. You are fighting a bear. Of course that on the end you don't rip his head off like a fucking maniac for obvious reasons, but it is indeed a cool enough duel. B tier. And Bjorn was again only an appetizer. Just like the troll was to the stranger, or just like the cavalo was to the Poseidon, just an appetizer to prepare you for the true duel. Like, this fight is again a masterclass on how to build tension. The tension was being built from God of War 2018. We were expecting to fight this guy, Thor, fucking Thor. You see, you hear in the speech the tension is in the air, the tension is in the air on all times. And then when you least expect it, BAM! You are thrown again into fucking space. I felt that again, and I am again sitting on my chair with my mouth wide open. And then it starts, for me, the best fight of the game. A lot of it due to, again, the tension, but the fight itself, it's amazing from the beginning to the end. You are fighting there, and you displace his tooth from his mouth, and then it tricks you, fourth wall break style, like you are already dead from not being able to press the circle fast enough. You are already on the death screen. You really thought you died, and it brings you back. That made me shit my pants, not even capping. It's a love letter to the fans. It's a really good fight. It's an S tier. Gryla. And this is very cool because it is the most creative fight of the entire game. I mean, you were playing with Atreus, so it was bound to be somewhat different, but they made sure to make it very decent. And not just decent, very good. I love that type of ambience. It's everything is big. There's big axes, there's big balconies, she's big, a big pot. It's great. Now, the fight, it's not like a Kratos versus Poseidon, because you are not really trying to kill her, you just want to destroy the pot, which again makes it feel very gamey. It makes it feel like a Tommy and Jerry type of shit. You are hiding, shooting your pot and whatever. Very creative, very interesting, and it goes into the A tier. Vanadis. It's Freya, but in normal enemy style. C tier. Okay, continuing, Nidhogg. This weird crocodile, whatever. A cool fight. It's okay. I really like the fight. He moves everywhere, he climbs these trees or whatever, and he attacks you, and the way you finish him is very interesting and very creative, just like always. There's all this big sentimental value with Freya and whatnot. It's a crazy fight. Also, his design is very cool, like a weird dimensional crocodile lizard. I can't say anything on that regard, so it goes into the A tier. And since we're talking about animals, let's get into the other big animal of the game, which is Garm, the big-ass Sigma, Alpha, whatever wolf. Top quality. This is how you do a big, good fight. No doubt in my mind. Plain and simple, from the aesthetics to the gameplay, Santa Monica nailed everything. He has a chain, the fight extends itself for a very long time, and it doesn't feel shit because of the amazing quality. There's weak points for you to attack. Again, he's fucking badass. Look at him. Try looking at this big ass, fucking scary ass wolf and not feel like you are fucked. You can't. It's impossible. S tier. And now, to close out the S tier, yes, you are hearing me loud and simple, I'm gonna talk about my other favorite fight of the game. Yep, toe-to-toe with Thor. Heimdall. This fight, right off the bat, starts in a very cool way. You start by fighting him while he's mounted on this weird guy. It's cool, not the best. There's not a lot of threats involved. The biggest threat is the unblockables, so it doesn't matter. The true fight starts when you fight him mano a mano. And man, I couldn't be more happy because, again, the intensity of the fight, you feel it in your bones. You use the new weapon that you just acquired, which is cool, and you are the entire fight thinking shit is about to go down. I'm about to do something that I shouldn't do, which is kill a god. Every second of the fight you feel that something isn't right. You feel that everything is going to crumble down, and you are right. You are there, bam, bam, bam. He goes at you, you go at him, bam, bam, bam. And he keeps going, he keeps getting madder and madder, he keeps getting angrier, and you don't want to kill him, you truly don't want to kill him, you know it. You know as Kratos that you cannot do it. You even blast his arm off as a warning, but he doesn't care. He keeps going at you, he keeps fucking trying to kill you until you had enough and you choke him to death. And on that scene, I was just like this, trying to not look because I knew shit was about to go down from that point. Bro, and it goes into the S tier. I love the fight, and I know you love it too. And if you don't love it, I don't love you. And I need to love you because I love you. What the fuck am I saying? I don't know. Wrist and Mist. Look, let's look at this way. Wrist and Mist. I played a ton of God of War Ragnarok. When I went to fight Wrist and Mist, I have already done almost every secondary mission available. So I absolutely annihilated them. I could be in jail right now because I have done the R word on them. It's as simple as that. And it's sad because I don't really remember a lot of the fight. I defeated them in like 3 minutes, first try, boom, 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 you're done. And it's sad because look at the arena where they are. Actually, this should be the last boss arena. And no, it's on Wrist and Mist, so man, you know what? I'm gonna give him an A tier because of the arena, because I don't really remember the rest of the fight because I fucking Okay, and now before I get into the last two bosses, let's discuss the semi-bosses that you can encounter throughout the game. Firstly, these guys that look that are made out of sand. I don't like them. D tier. The crocodiles, a basic normal enemy that feels like a boss for some reason. C tier. Berserkers, they are essentially the Valkyrias of this game. And honestly, they are not as good. I defeated them all and I can't remember one. But at the same time, they are decent, you know, they are not the best, they are not the worst, but they are more good than they are bad, so B tier. Gna. Talking about Valkyrias, let's talk about Gna. And I'm kidding, I'm not talking about Gna because I haven't defeated her. I played so many hours of God of War Ragnarok that when I reached her, I wasn't really feeling like playing anymore. So I'm not gonna rank her. Fuck you. Phantoms. I like the fight. I think it's pretty enjoyable and creative, so they go into the B tier. Ormstunga. I don't remember shit, and what I remember is that I died too many times, they are too slick, I couldn't catch them for the love of God, and they are the worst boss of the game, F tier. Someone had to go into here. Because, come on, F tier. They had to. These guys with the big sword. It's a guy with a big sword. Come on, C tier. And finally, the dragons. These dragons are okay, but they are used too much. It's like the trolls on the first game, it's the dragons in this game. It's a B tier. Okay, finally, the last two bosses of the game. Thor being the first one, and first of all, disappointed. I spent the entire game thinking about fighting Thor again. I wanted to fight Thor again, and it was building up to it mainly those last hours. Spent an entire chapter besides Thor. You wanna fight that guy. The entire previous game was building up to the fight, and the first fight was good, so the second fight has to be the most mind-blowing shit to have ever been made by mankind. And it isn't. It's a good fight, but nothing really that memorable. They must have used everything that they had cool in the first encounter that they had. It's impossible, because the second fight, even if it's okay, it's really not the best. It could be much, much more. Like in the Norse mythology, Thor's power is so huge that he sent the world serpent into the past. You see it happen firsthand. And the fight is that. The fight is on a backyard. Why? I'm sad, but the fight is okay. Okay, let's look through the disappointment. The fight it's okay. It's an A tier, but honestly, okay, it's an A tier. Let's not lose hope. We still have Odin to defeat, so he could be the most epic shit known to man. Pick you, throw you through dimensions. You see fucking the world serpent going back in time. Something. He could be the biggest fight ever in gaming, and it's again kind of a disappointment. You fight him in an old library. You fight him in a cave. You fight him in a cave. Come on! And it's like, why? Why? You don't even use the Thor hammer. I was waiting the entire game to use that fucking shit. I don't know. You are almost dying to Odin and you do this and the... I'm very sad on that fight. It's very saddening. It's okay, wait. Let's again look through the disappointment. It has some great stuff. Mechanically wise, I think it's the best fight probably of the entire series. It is cool, they are speaking and whatnot. The ending is very, very interesting because you see Atreus holding him like you saw in the painting and you thought it was Kratos, but no, it's actually Odin. So it is cool. It is cool, but it could have been so much fucking more. Why not a... I don't know, something. Why a cave? Well, A tier. But well, this is it. Tier list finished. And I know, I didn't rank the bosses from the DLC and I didn't rank the bosses from the other games because, well, I didn't play the DLC and I only played Ghost of Sparta, which has some serious bangers, let's all be honest, but to make it easier for you and for me, I only ranked the main games and I think that's enough. And overall, pretty cool fucking bosses. It's an overall great franchise with, again, something that I like, amazing bosses. And so, this is it. Thanks for watching. The next tier list is the so awaited Elden Ring tier list, and peace!
Yeah.